What up, though? This your boy Beezy 430, back again celebrating 50 years of hip hop. This video, I'm talking about what I was listening to in 1993. I remember we talked about our favorite years in hip hop with Crate 808, and this was Myke C-Town's favorite year right here. So when I went through this list, I was like, yeah, I can kind of see this is definitely a strong list. So
as we were talking about a minute ago, this is it's at least one of my favorite years in rap, if not my favorite year in rap. But buckle up.
You know, I'm in 11th grade, so we just out here, and everybody's just sharing music with each other, and you're listening to a lot of stuff that your friends got that you may not have if you're just riding around in the car or whatever, just kind of hanging out and chilling. You're at your boy's house or whatever. So it's a combination of all of that plus stuff that I actually have. I was big into West Coast around this time too, so you're probably gonna hear a lot of those albums.
I don't know what I was doing in 93, but I don't have that many I was listening to in 93. So yeah, man, I was like, damn, it's like I heard the songs, right? Like some of the songs, but I don't remember purchasing, I must have not been purchasing that much music.
Starting off, Ant Banks, sitting on something fat. Man, you know how I fuck with Ant Banks, bruh. Come on now.
Brand Nubian, In God We Trust. He didn't mention that one. That shit, I had never heard of Brand Nubian. I put that on and I was like, wow, these guys are great. And I returned to it, it holds up. It's still a great album.
In God We Trust by Brand Nubian. The main thing was Punk's Jump Up to Get Beat Down is really the most notable record on that one.
Obviously, man, you know, you seen Ken and I on our Friday, man, with 8Ball and MJG coming out hard. Like, this is probably one, if not probably my favorite 8Ball MJG album. So yeah, if you ever seen any of the our Fridays, if you ever a patron, you see that me and Ken was going off on that particular our Friday when they were going up against 3 6 Mafia. So definitely coming out hard.
8Ball MJG coming out hard. Like another one. That's another one we used to play the fuck out of in Detroit, man, was that shit, man. Summertime, man, that was like such a dope ass album, bruh.
Young Black Teenagers. Now, I'm kind of embarrassed about this one, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't listen to this. The album was called Dead Ends Kids. They were tied to Public Enemy. That's what it was. But anyways, yeah, young Black teenagers who were all white. It was a weird situation.
Above the Law was one of the albums that one of the groups that I remember listening to. It's interesting because I don't necessarily like remember full details of like some of those records. I would really have to go back and listen to them. But whenever I see like the name Above the Law and some of the albums, I was like, oh, I remember that joint. And I knew some guys that were just, you know, my cousins. They were from the West Coast, so they would have a lot of stuff.
I don't think anybody mentioned this, and I'm looking for my boy Ken to come through, but Bloods and Crips. Pyru Love. Bloods and Crips was absolutely a thing in Florida for a hot stint. And I listened to this album. They had like 2 or 3 albums. This one, this is called Banging on Wax. You ever heard of this? Oh my God. Yeah, it was like Bloods and Crips like came together and they made like an album together. Yes. Yes. Banging on Wax.
Pyru Love, the Banging on Wax joints with Bloods and the Crips. And I remember just driving through, it's so messed up. Me and my homies used to ride through like the alternative schools where kids that were getting into trouble would be schools, and we would drive through there looking to pick up girls and stuff like that.
Cypress Hill Black Sunday, even though it's funny, like I listened to Cypress Hill back then, but even after I got the albums, I didn't revisit them a lot, but I just like I like tracks here and there, but I still respect them because I love DJ Muggs.
My first Tupac album, Tupac, Strictly for My Niggas. I had never, that was, I mentioned an album in the last one, I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was Stunts, Blunts, and Hip Hop. I had got that from my sister. In the same box was Tupac, Strictly for My Niggas. Strictly
for My Niggas, for sure. Like, that was the one that you go to the skating ring and, you know, the Tupac songs be playing because everybody loved all the commercial joints that he had on there. But my joint on here is, of course, Last Words with Ice Cube.
Tupac, Strictly for My Niggas, I Get Around. Keep your head up. Yeah, keep your head up. Like, yeah, Tupac was really starting to get into the zone with this one. It was definitely a step up from the Tupac was now, in my opinion.
Strictly for My Niggas was definitely one I was listening to, man. I used to play that album till I went to sleep. That's how much I actually played that album, man. That one and Lethal Injection were two that I would play. I remember, like, at my boy's house and everything, I would play Lethal Injection and I would play Strictly for My Niggas all the time. So those were two that I was definitely listening to.
Ice Cube, Lethal Injection, Queen Latifah, Black Rain, Black Moon, Into the Stage, KRS One, Return of the Boom Bap.
Now this one y'all might get upset, but I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Kid Rock, Polyfuse Method. I loved that album. That's the one that had balls in your mouth. Balls in your mouth, balls in your mouth. Do you want my balls in your mouth? Kid Rock can go fuck himself forever, but that album is actually pretty tight.
I do not know why in the world I was listening to this artist by the name of Apache. But I do remember this album, Apache Ain't Shit. I don't think I bought this. I think this is one that I definitely was hearing when I was just hanging out around with some of the homies. But
another one, Eazy-E, is on Dr. Dre 187 Killer. Real Motherfucker G's brought me to this album.
I'm not sure if anybody mentioned this one, and maybe I just wasn't listening because I was trying to put this together, but Eazy-E's is on, Dr. Dre. It mentioned it, but yeah, this is the one that had Real Motherfucking G's on it. So yeah, man, I definitely was playing this one like crazy. I definitely was listening to this album. It wasn't the best album in the world, but it was still a decent listen. So I definitely played this album a lot.
Ice-T, Home Invasion. I loved that album. I don't really go back to it as often, but it's still pretty good.
1993, of course, was another one. Hip Hop Array was on that joint, and that was the big song that they had on that record. So
Naughty by Nature, 1993, of course, Hip Hop Array. That was like a big joint.
Diggable Planets, Reaching. I was in love with that album. Still, I'm in love with that album.
Definitely had Diggable Planets, Cool Like That and all that. So I definitely was listening to that album.
Spice One, 187 he wrote. This is still my favorite. I love the first one, but 187 he wrote. That's the one I can just pop in and let it play. 187 dumping niggas up and ditch it, like running out the crack, house out the crack, bruh. Like that is my trick, and of course Trigger Got No Heart. Like that's man. Like
187 he wrote. I was playing that like crazy. What was the joints off of that? I don't be mention some of them, but dumping them in ditches. He ain't mentioned that one. That Dumping Them Ditches song. Oh my God, that was a good one. And the Murder Show. I don't know if he mentioned the Murder Show. Yes. Oh my God. Spice One is shit. I'm gonna play that shit when I get in the car. Like for real. Y'all think I'm playing?
Lords of the Underground. Here come the Lords. Here come the Lords. Here come the Lords. Yeah, be fucked up not mentioning that shit.
this one got a lot of play. The Till Death Do Us Part album. This is one of Ghetto Boy's best album from front to back. If you have not listened to this, I highly encourage you to listen to this album. And every single person that was on the Posse Cut, I ended up buying their albums just off the strength of that.
My introduction to the Roots, Organic. Like that's Black Thought, fucking Malik B. They still got the longest Posse Cut on that album, bro. It's like 12 minutes and like 53 seconds long. It's crazy.
Funk Dubious. Which doobie do you be? I was really into that alternative hip hop stuff, and I think I got these guys out of Escape Mag. So I loved that project too.
I did have the 14 shots to the dome. That was the decline. That's when your boy was going down, man. LL Cool J. He had that pink cookies in a plastic bag getting crushed by buildings. And we all was trying to figure out what in the world was going on with him. Backseat of my Jeep. So he was still kind of hanging on, but it was definitely a wrap from there.
Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style. I mean, what more can you say? It's one of the top two people say is Death Row's best album. I still say The Chronic.
And yeah, man, it was like maybe one more, and that last one was Doggy Style, Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style. I wasn't up on Wu-Tang like that. I wasn't I wasn't there at 36 Chambers. I had to go back later and listen to that. I caught videos here, I caught songs there, but I wasn't actually listening to the full albums. I was in a different bag, and that bag was the ones I just talked about. So yeah, man, when I was going through this, I was really really surprised that I hadn't listened to like the same amount of songs that they did in this year. So yeah, but that's what I was listening to in 1993.
B fucked up on this one as well. Guru, Jazzmatazz. What's wrong with this fool, man? Jazzmatazz, oh my God, I still wear that album out. I think that, no, it ain't. Y'all So Stupid, Van Full of Pakistanis. It's fucked up to say that shit out loud now, but I mean, at the time, I loved that album too.
Fifth Ward Boys, Ghetto Dope. This is another one that got a lot of play, man, with whole shit. Studio Gangsta with Scarface on there. Down ass nigga, man. Same old shit. Blood, Sweat, and Glory. Thanks for the Blessing with Bushwick Bill and Devin the Dude. Gotta Be Down to Die. If It's Your Time to Die. Yeah, I know that sounds very morbid, but man, that a really low-key, underground, underrated album that probably very few heard, but definitely give it a listen.
Onyx, Back the Fuck Up. That's crazy if you think about like how grimy they was, and they were like they were mainstream. Like that shit was unheard of back then.
Onyx, Back the Fuck Up. That was one of the best projects. Freestyle Fellowship, Inner City Griots. That was my introduction to Freestyle Fellowship. Micah 9, AC Alone.
Boss, Born Gangster. Boss was, I want to say she's from Detroit, but I used to play this one a lot as well. Deeper, man, and I know B know about this joint. It had Deeper on there, but the whole album was really good. My favorite song is like the last song on here, I Don't Give a Fuck. Just straight bass line, and she just goes off. Born Gangster, bruh.
Alcoholics, this was my debut to them. 21 and Over, dropped in 93.
Alcoholics, 21 and Over. Amazing project. Master Ace, Slaughterhouse. I love that project.
Top Authority, Something to Blaze To. Another joint from the Midwest. Slept on. Shit's dope from front to back, bro. Yeah, that joint is really good.
De La Soul, Balloon Mind State. Definitely, this is still the run that they're on. Crazy.
Here's one that I bet y'all didn't know nothing about. Do y'all remember Blood of Abraham? They had an album called Future Prophets. These guys were the ones I was thinking of. They were put on by Eazy-E, and they were a bunch of like Jewish rappers. That album is so fucking good. It really is so good. I still return to it. It's really dope, but I don't think they caught on real hard because it was weird that they were like these, white dudes on Eazy-E's label, but nah, that album is super fresh.
Get in where you fit in, fool. Too short. Get in where you fit in. See, I was with B on the Ant Banks joint, so I definitely know that because Ant Banks did a lot of producing for that. Oh my God, bro, it's so freaking good, bro. I'm a player. Just Another Day, Blowjob Betty, All My Bitches Are Gone. Yeah, this one is really dope, so I definitely wanted to mention that.
Leader to the New School, Time. I can't believe B left this off his list too, but I wore that one out. That was in that same box with Tupac. I know, Isaiah, you told me. I'm trying.
I cannot finish saying this year without November 1993. We had the iconic date of these two albums dropping on the same day. Wu-Tang, Into the 36 Chambers, and Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders. Like, it doesn't get more classic than that. Still to this day, I don't think there's not a hip hop release day that can top these two albums that came out on the same day. Like, no, can't. It ain't gonna happen. You ain't gonna do it. So yeah, that's what I was listening to in 1993.
Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders. That was my introduction to Tribe Called Quest. And I only got that because it had that wacky ass crazy cover. And I loved it. Wu-Tang. End of the 36 Chambers. Like, come on, man. Like, who wasn't listening to that when that came out?
All right, and the last one I want to mention are the Conscious Daughters. I'll be real brief. The Conscious Daughter, Something to Ride to, Funky Expedition. Unknown group, but check them out. And that's it. That's what I was listening to in 1993.
I saved the two best for last, y'all. Del the Funky Homo Sapien, No Need for Alarm. It's my favorite Del album. Still my favorite Del album. All of this over Boo Boo Heads. I still return to this album regularly. I bet even Isaiah knows what this is, and he's a young buck. So's a fucking mischief. 93 till infinity. I still, anytime this album goes on, I fucking lose my shit. I'm about to lose my shit now. This album is perfect, okay? Perfect. I will forever be indebted to Souls of Mischief for making me so goddamn happy with this project. But man, yes, that is it. That is my 1993. If y'all are still with me, thank you for sitting here and listening to my shit. But this is an amazing year for rap.